Hello there, commanders, and welcome to our continued coverage of the SUNTZU's 13th anniversary tournament, or round of 16, match number 1, battle number 3. The very first match of the tournament is already spoiling us with a tiebreaker, but it's not do or die for either player, as this is a double elimination tournament. So we'll see whoever is defeated here in the lower bracket still with a chance to win it all. As I mentioned in previous videos, I'll continue iterating on various ideas on how to present these battles, so please provide your feedback in the comments about what works for you and what doesn't. And for this one, I would like to focus on the units or the armies that the players bring right at the beginning before loading in, so we can judge what is in the starting army and reinforcement army before going into the battle. So, Tim is bringing Grand Hierophant Khatep with Jav's incantation of Cursed Blaze and Nessus incantation of protection, so 2 cheap spells probably just to spam the Restless Dead, which heals his entire army for 1.4 HP or percent. Other than that, doesn't seem like he brought any mounts, so yeah, he's going to be very weak in melee, so probably just sitting back and just casting these spells. Skeleton Horse Archers, Ushabti Great Bow to snipe possibly enemy large entities. Then we have the Ushabti, or Chosen of the Gods variant of Ushabti with Great Bows. You have these exploding arrows, they look very cool and they are just very efficient against infantry. They're also armor piercing and shield breaking, so very good against any potential Chaos Warriors. And Skeleton Spearmen and Skeleton Warriors frontline, 5 of them in total, and then Tomb Guard. 5 Tomb Guards. They don't have any armor piercing, don't have bonus against infantry. Medium armor with a silver shield. But well, from Tzeentch you can only expect pink horrors, so it's not that much, not that big of a threat in terms of missiles. And also pink horrors, I guess. And then in the reinforcement we have Tomb Guard with halberds to summon whenever anti-large will be needed, and also armor piercing. But the base damage is much lower, 29 compared to 42. Then we have Nehekhara warriors that are very good, very cheap and effective, as they have 33 melee weapon damage, decent melee attack and defense, and they also have a melee versus infantry bonus, but only 2 of them. It was quite surprising, usually I see more. Then we have Eyes of the Desert, which are also a Regiment of Renown, a version of Sepulchral Stalkers. They're also, like, these 2 Regiments of Renown are 2 most commonly seen Regiments of Renown in Tomb Kings. Pretty much everybody brings them because they're just so good, they offer such a great value. These guys are great at sniping enemy lords and large entities with their super large missile strength, armor piercing, poison on top of that as well. I mean, and they are decent in melee as well, if it ever comes to that. And we have 2 Catapults, Skeleton Horse Archers, Nehekhara Horsemen times 4, and Skeleton Horsemen. So just a lot of cheap cavalry to wipe out any routing units potentially, or maybe chase around ranged units. And then Carrion, it's pretty much the same, but just flying. Now for Tzeentch, we have Chaos Sorcerer's Lord of Tzeentch with Lord of Tzeentch, and then we have Blue Fire and Pink Fire of Tzeentch, together with Sword of Change, which brings a unit of Chaos Spawn onto the battlefield. And he's large, so he is... I'm not good enough to tell you on what mount he is. Maybe he's on this flying disc or something. Doesn't look like he's on a dragon. I don't really look good on a dragon. I'm so bad at this game. Then we have 3 units of Spawn of Tzeentch in the starting army, Pink Horrors of Tzeentch, and 4 units of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch. Then Spawn of Tzeentch in the reinforcements, 4 Forsaken. These guys are pretty good in reinforcements because they have higher speed, 42 and 46 respectively. So you can have slower units in the starting army, and then when you summon them, they quickly join the fight. So that's pretty much the way to go. Also, you have the front line of regular sized infantry and big monsters behind to deal double damage essentially to the front line. Then you have Chromatic Abominations, the better blue horrors of Tzeentch, the Regiments of Renown variant. Skirmers of Tzeentch, they're pretty good. Decent damage, armor piercing and anti-large, so good at taking down enemy monsters. They're also flying, so have easy access to the backline if needed. Chaos Fury is pretty much the same, it's just they're small, they don't have any special damage, but they just go in and stick to the target. And then Murders of Tzeentch, just I guess to spend the money he had left. And with that, now let's go to the battlefield and skip the loading. Alright, and we are on the battlefield, and we already know what every unit is on the battlefield, so we can get straight to the battle. The thing is, in domination matches, from what I've seen during the live cast of the tournament, the players don't really do anything much for the first 2 minutes. So, give me feedback in the comments. We could also just skip straight ahead to when the actual battle begins, not just starts, but when the fighting starts. Because right now they'll go into a forest and just chill out, so I'm gonna skip for that. Let's see what the Sorcerer is doing. He is on a disc of Tzeentch, since he's so small. Maybe he'll look for an angle. Peculiar Stalkers are gonna... no, that is Ushabti. Okay, so he casts Blue Fire of Tzeentch onto Tomb Guard. I mean, he's taken out like 25% of their HP. We got 200k in value. And yeah, we have... yes, Peculiar Stalkers are here, summoned from the reinforcements. It's pretty much the first thing you should summon. But he only lost 99 or 89 points of barrier. So yeah, pretty worth it to go for it. Now Ushabti with great bows, with their large range or long range, already starting to target pink hordes of Tzeentch. Let's look at these exploding arrows, because they look pretty cool. It's like there's much going on. Those Peculiar Stalkers managed to land a few hits on the Sorcerer Lord, but again, barrier is saving him. He'll retreat, regenerate the barrier, and he'll be fine. I think it doesn't count any value on these, so that's interesting and good. I guess it shouldn't count, and it doesn't. Blue fire hitting in here. Overall, every else landed, but only 500 damage. Not that good. Yeah, only 90 gold value from this one. In the meantime, Pink Horse, they have lost their barrier, which they have quite a lot of, 1.2k, and now are able to respond with their fire onto the Ushabti with great bows, who will now be retreated to a safer distance. Point number 3 capped, point number 2 soon to be capped, and 1 went into the custody of Tomb Kings. Both armies still largely just feeling each other out. 2 units of Screamers of Tzeentch have been summoned. They'll probably target the Ushabti great bows in here, possibly going on to the next ones over here. Skeleton Horse Archers are also a possible target if they can catch them. A ring of Skeleton Horse Archers is retreating, being repelled by Pink Horse of Tzeentch. And now they're getting a little bit too close. I don't think you want to engage melee with them, but they will find an engagement with Tomb Guard. Yeah, they just kind of walked into it, chasing the Skeleton Horse Archers. Ushabti are elsewhere. And we already see engagements across the board. Spawn of Tzeentch not being put on top of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, so that's an interesting choice, but they're still dealing with Skeleton Warriors in here, and Tomb Guard they should win, although Tomb Guard has some magical support. As said, Grand Hierophant Khatep just casting cheap spells to heal his entire army. Blue fires or pink fire, blue fires of Tzeentch, the Chromatic Abominations, shooting into Carrions who are chasing the Screamers of Tzeentch. Screamers of Tzeentch, yeah, they're going straight for Ushabti with great bows in the backline. So does the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Let's see how much he can achieve there. Not much with his spells, I imagine. He could use those wind spells to clear out some infantry. Has a nice blob over here. Blue Horse of Tzeentch fighting in melee, not using really their ammunition. So that's a bit of a shame. Spawn of Tzeentch should probably still do pretty well in here, but there are Skeleton Spearmen in there. And Ushabti with great bows just firing in, clearing Spawn of Tzeentch. Such a big blob, pretty good target for them. As long as they're hitting the spawn, they should get quite great value out of it. Spawn of Tzeentch, that's probably from the item here. Yep, Sword of Change. Summoning Chaos Spawn on top of the Ushabti. Regiment of Renown. But they're fine. They're protected with Carrion and Nehekhara Horsemen. Just providing the meat shield required to keep the balls safe. They should honestly be just retreated and keep firing, but they're just not being microed at the moment. Let's see, point number 3 being flipped in favor of Tomb Kings, now being countered by Forsaken of Tzeentch and Pink Horrors. Aradin of Forsaken being summoned, but they have quite a long way to go. So in that regard, Tomb Kings have the advantage of just fighting closer to their spawn in the initial stages, so their reinforcements have a very short distance to travel, whereas Tzeentch has a disadvantage of having to wait for his reinforcements quite a long time. So not necessarily the best of ideas. She could have just held the points number 2 and 3, instead decided to charge in. Then again, Ushabti with great bows could have just dealt quite a lot of damage if he didn't do so. So ranged units bringing in their value in more ways than you would imagine, not just damage. Now Ushabti with great bows regiment over now, firing at the spawn of Tzeentch that is immobile, just an easy target. He's a big blob, a good target for the Chaos Sorcerer, but he's tied up with Nehekhara Horsemen and Carrion in there. I don't know if he can move, but he definitely should try. Maybe he tried and couldn't, but it shouldn't be impossible to get out of there. And now the Nehekhara Horsemen finding a gap in the formation of the Tzeentchian army. Czarix straining the Pink Horrors. That should make quite short work of them. Barrier almost depleted just with the charge, and they'll start getting down. Skirmers of Tzeentch not going to counter that cavalry, instead... Okay, now I think they turned. Although I don't see the arrows of where they're going. But judging from how they're moving... Oh, that's Tzeentchian army ability. I can look at those, but yeah. So they're either tier 2 or tier 3 bombardments. They have 2 of those, I think. And one of them is like a boost to Winds of Magic. Tomb Kings just chilling on top of point 1, finishing Chaos Warriors. Who aren't really getting decent value out of themselves. I mean, they're mostly there to hold the line and allow the Chaos Spawn to deal most of the damage, but the Chaos Spawn has already been cleared and disintegrated. Wait, they don't disintegrate. They are unbreakable. Yeah. Let's see how this one is doing. The only one last alive. Only 500 value. Tomb Guard actually just beating them in a straight fight, although that Tomb Guard has fought Chaos Warriors before. But Grand Hierophant Khatep was there casting his spells as he's casting them again. Let's see what he's casting. Oh, it's just the AoE heal, so he cast his spell somewhere else. Point number 3, back into control of Tzeentch. But Tomb Kings are pushing in. So Tzeentch has quite the advantage in terms of points, but both players are still quite far away from ever-achieving victory, and Tomb Kings have a lot more units on the battlefield. So I feel that Czarix should surrender quite soon. As, yeah, just fighting so far into the spawn, and well, his Tzeentchian is just not really bringing the value they should, and just not performing well against the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings really well played. It's pretty much victory certain for them, just waiting for Czarix to acknowledge it. Khatep still churning out, 0 damage as gold value, but again he cast these, so this is pretty good value. I think all the healing he's doing should be counted here, and if he's buffing with a spell, like some percentage of the damage that the unit he's buffing should go from the unit being buffed into the unit that casts the buff. I don't know if you just slap an easy formula on top of it, or like maybe just an easy percentage or whatnot, or do some kind of elaborate formula that counts it way more accurately. Anyway, 3 spawns of Tzeentch now being summoned from the backline and just spinning out because it's pretty much over. Yeah, Czarix trying to do the last time, but now team has captured all 3 points. This looks like that will just get us to the end of the battle in 4 minutes or less. Screamers of Tzeentch flying in, trying to get into the back line, but it is pretty by horsemen, and that's it. Czarix is finally acknowledged his defeat. And let's see the values. Khatep got 5 kills in the end, 39 damage as goal value. Ushabti is doing pretty well. Skeleton Spearman and Swordsman, you know, just regular frontline doing frontline things, not doing much. Tomb Guards, decent-ish, but nothing really to brag about. The Hybrids did much better. Nehekhara Warriors kind of bad. And these guys got a huge value, nice. Catapults were examined. Horse Archers nicely. Cavalry did its job, I guess. And Carrions also had their time to shine against those Screamers. And here for Tzeentch, yeah, Chaos Spawn not really bringing the value they should. Pink Horrors did pretty alright. Chaos Warriors, alright for a frontline, but then again that frontline is so expensive compared to the Tomb King frontline that did pretty much the same value. So we got the same value for twice as much money. Of course, again, though they got a lot of kills, those were very cheap kills, so again, not very good on their part. Yeah, Tzeentch just couldn't really find the value they needed. So, that's how it ended. Let me know in the comments what you think about going for the army at the beginning and at the end. Like, you know, all the values. I like to show these just for like the data keeping sake, I guess, because I'm a huge data nerd, and we could, you know, get out quite a lot of interesting analysis out of these battles once we get a large enough sample, but it also requires such a huge amount of work. But it is there for the future, so we don't lose it, I guess. But I could keep it separate, these values, if that doesn't really interest you. We could also just skip the entire army introduction and whatnot and just skip straight to where the actual fighting begins and just disregard everything in between. So I guess that's what I will try in the next battle, where I will see you in the next video and you will also tell me there what you think. See you there.